this is my current lab, and I've got different networks. I've got one for the lab. I've got one for IoT devices. I've got one for all my computers, my personal work, but all the computers that are mine. And then another one for, I call rest of the world, which is exactly that. Anybody else that connects to my lab or my house or anything that goes to the rest of the world. And I've got them compartmentalized in a way that some of them don't have internet access, some of them don't. Some of them do have internet access, but they're very limited in the geo that they can reach out, mostly US, Canada, Western Europe. And I think that's pretty much it. And then I've got also limitations in terms of who can talk to whom. So I've got my own network that has outbound access to all networks through secure lobby, of course. Then I've got IoT devices that can receive communications from my network and the rest of the world. Then rest of the world can talk to IoT devices. Of course, it can only receive communications from me. And then lab, which is only accessible by me. But on top of that, the demo lab policy, the inbound connections only from my zone and outbound to nobody. But also, if I go to the policy demo lab, then you see that it's in a scenario where it has no internet and only inbound secure lobby routing, which means that any device that is inside this microsegment will, on layer 2, allow communication from secure lobby, but not establish anything outbound to either secure lobby, to the local LAN, or to the internet. So pretty much nothing other than receiving and accepting sessions that are coming from a vetted entity in secure lobby. That's via layer 2 access control. Then if we go to layer 3 access control, and I'll see that the policy demo lab is in the zone demo lab. So then I go to the zone demo lab, and I'll see this is where we were before, 10.10.40/24, and it can only receive connections from Matthias. That's it. So on layer 2, the assets cannot communicate out to anything. They can only communicate, receive and accept sessions that are coming from somebody else that has been allowed through the overlay and into that zone. And then on layer 3, they have one more limitation that is only from the devices that are coming from the Matthias zone. And if I go to the Matthias zone, you'll see that the only members right now are my computer right here, right there, which is the computer that I'm recording this from. And if I go to my Byos management, I'm connected to the edge Matthias, which is this one right here. And my secure lobby IP address is 10.10.53, which matches this. So all is good to go. So on layer 2, I am allowed to talk to devices on the demo lab session. On layer 2, I'm allowed to talk to the secure lobby outbound. I didn't show that part. If I go to the Matthias policy, I have scenario D, which means I have full internet access and full overlay access through secure lobby, meaning that this session right now, my connection to Zoom and the recording that I'm making right now, and that my connectivity to the internet altogether is routing through Byos, using Byos as an exit node. So to my computer, everything routes through that. And my computer cannot distinguish between overlay traffic and internet traffic. It's all going through the one gateway, which is Byos. And that is all the intelligence my laptop has about, what's going on in the sessions. So I can talk to secure lobby outbound, and I have on layer 2, and then on layer 3, I have access to the demo lab. So let's see what we have available on layer 4. If I go to list out the assets, I'll see that let's filter it out. On the demo lab, I've got multiple machines. I've got a desktop, which is a VMware, a VM. I've got the actual ESX hypervisor, which we're going to skip in a second. Then I've got other VMs that are right there. I've got an office printer, which is a Brother Industries printer, and then 2 more VMs. So essentially, I've got all these are assets within that microsegment. Each one of these is an asset, and they can be managed independently. They can be managed depending on what you need specifically from those. If I go to the multi-1 and I open that, you'll see that Byos automatically, first of all, Byos automatically discovered all these assets, but also Byos has discovered this port and service on this machine. It discovered an SSH service on port 22. Now, you see the little I is in purple. It says enable and secure lobby. That's because I've enabled it in the past. But if I disable it just by clicking on it and going to this toggle, enable and secure lobby, disable. What I'm doing right now, what the platform is doing is sending the command that I set, disable port 22 on that asset, is sending the command to the proper gateway, and then the gateway is shutting it down at the layer 2, layer 3, layer 4 locally on that microsegment. I don't know where this asset is physically located, nor I care. That's the beauty of Byos. Physical limitations disappear. When I look at this map right here, there are no offices, there are no walls, there are no public IP addresses, there are no DMZs, there are no VLANs, there are no segments, there are no, none of that. You only have zone access via the overlay. And that's part of the beauty of managing this. This devices, even devices in the same zone